If you watch my upcoming Nintendo Switch games for the month of October video, you would know that I was looking forward to Super Mario Party, which is kind of strange to me. I'm not the biggest Mario Party fan in the world. I did play the original ones on the N64 and I always had a good time with it, and it really felt like a game that was tailor-suited to the N64 because of the 4 controller ports on the Nintendo 64. Then of course we got ones on the GameCube and the Wii. I never got around to playing those, but I did end up checking out the series again on the Wii U and the 3DS because I was reviewing these games for Nintendo Enthusiasts. And they were very different than the old school Mario Party games, and honestly I did not like them nearly as much. But Super Mario Party looked to be a return to form for the series. But one thing that I was kind of worried about going into this is that I don't have many people to play with locally. So I was going into this playing the single player stuff and looking forward to checking out that stuff. And of course the online modes within the game. But did Nintendo sort of do a bait and switch with the single player stuff? Is there enough single player stuff in here that's worth checking out? Let's talk about it in this review. So sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's jump into Super Mario Party.
Hey, RGT 85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my God, it's Stevie Richards! So starting things out, there are a variety of modes in Super Mario Party for you to check out. There, of course, is the traditional party mode, which is a 4-player battle royale where you're trying to collect stars on different boards. Now, there are only 4 boards within this game, which will definitely turn some people off, but I thought the boards that are used in this game are definitely fun. There's little deviances and little things that go on within these boards that sort of give them their own feel and their own sort of flair. So I did like that. I would have liked to have seen more boards, but I thought that the ones that they chose were decent enough. There's also a partner mode, which is kind of like the party mode, but you can basically team up with someone and you have free roam on the map. You can go wherever you want in a sort of a grid system. It feels kind of like what was in Mario Party 7, honestly, and it's a pretty fun mode if you have someone to play it with. Toad's Rec Room is another interesting mode, but this is pretty much if you have Nintendo Switches around you. It's utilized to make the Nintendo Switch work in a unique way, and basically you can play it like the little mini game that they showed in one of the first reveals of Super Mario Party where you connect 2 Nintendo Switches. So I wasn't able to check out many of these games, but there was a baseball mini game that I thought was pretty fun in there. River Survival is another interesting game where you're basically put onto a raft and you're going down a river, and while you're going down this river you're trying to collect different items to keep your time going up. There's different branching paths, and of course there are mini games to play. 2 people on one side, 2 people on another side, so it's definitely a mode for 4 players. There's also a sound stage where you compete in different sorts of rhythm mini games, and these were kind of interesting, you know, nothing too grandiose or robust or anything, but I messed around with them and I thought it was pretty decent. There's also Challenge Road, which is a single player experience where you basically go through all of the mini games in Super Mario Party while trying to achieve different challenges. So that was something that I was actually very interested in checking out. There's the online Mario-thon as well, where you play online with people, and then of course the mini games where you can play just free roam stuff. So there's a lot of stuff going on within Super Mario Party. There are a lot of different options, there's a lot of different modes, and there's a lot of different cool stuff to check out. Now, of course, I am playing this by myself, so I immediately went to check out the online stuff with Wood. And honestly, I knew what I was getting into. I knew that you could only play mini games online, and unfortunately, there's only 10 different mini games that you can play online. Now, I think these mini games are fun, and there's actually some ranking systems. If you play worldwide with random people, you can access a ranking system where you will level up your abilities, or you level up your character, they get a different rank, and of course there's like a little leaderboard system as well. So that was kind of cool, but unfortunately, while most of the 10 mini games are actually fun and worth checking out, you kind of get bored with it because there's no other sort of aspect in it. You're just playing these mini games over and over again, and while it's a fun little competition, it definitely gets stale. And the fact that there's only 10 mini games kind of keeps the life cycle of the online stuff pretty low in my opinion. Now, I did check out every mode within this game and I played games, and one thing that's nice about it is all of the modes can be utilized in single player. Now, Toad's Rec Room is a bit tough because you have to have multiple Nintendo Switches, but all of the other game modes you can do and just play with single player against the AI. And I played, you know, a couple of the party mode BAPs and stuff like that just to sort of check it out, and I had a pretty fun time, honestly, but I couldn't help but think to myself, wouldn't this be nice if I could play a party mode online on the board game with the way the game is intended? And I know what you're saying to yourself, well, RGT 85, some of these matches can take up to an hour plus. plus, even longer? Would people really stick around for that? And honestly, you are probably right. I don't think many people would stick around for an hour-long board game where you're playing with randoms, but I feel like they could have included it with friends, because your friends aren't going to dip on you, and if they do, you can just talk smack to them and things like that. So I really felt like that was sort of a missed opportunity. I felt like you could have done online board games with the party mode, or even all the other modes like partner mode and river run mode, because the only thing you can do online are just these simple mini games. But like I said, I did have fun exploring the boards. I did have fun playing this. Partner mode is a pretty fun mode as well. I dabbled in it. Nothing too crazy, nothing too exciting, but I did like it. Now, of course, one of the big draws to Super Mario Party is going to be the mini games, and there's 80 new mini games, and they're really fun. I would say a good 80% of them are really fun stuff. There are some stinkers in there, things like the little pancake one that I played. I don't know, this seemed really silly to me. But one thing that kept going on in the back of my mind, it was like, okay, I'm having fun playing this single player stuff. It's pretty decent. Would be better to play a lot of this stuff with either local friends or online friends, but where is the challenge road? This is supposed to be the single player experience that Nintendo had talked about in previous trailers for the game, and it was something I was really looking forward to. So as I'm exploring around the map, I finally come to this section where it's like, oh, you need to unlock all of the mini games in order to access this. And I was like, well, what is this? So I looked it up online, and I found out that that is Challenge Road. So the single player experience, the thing that's tailor suited to the single player experience, is locked. You have to unlock all of the mini games in order to unlock that. And how do you unlock all of the mini games? By playing the other game modes. So you're forcing me to play these other game modes, to play things like party mode, river survival, and unlock different mini games while playing this, so that I can then play all of the mini games and check them out, and then I can unlock the single player mode for Challenge Road. Now, Challenge Road isn't like this in-depth, super story-driven thing. All it is mini games with different parameters set up to where you have to accomplish different things in order to keep progressing. But that's something that should not be locked, especially considering this is the main single player mode for this game. This is why I picked up this game, because I heard about Challenge Road and I was like, hey, there's a single player experience as well. That's going to be pretty fun, and I could just play this with friends and other things like during the holidays or when I go out of town or something like that. But no, you lock it to where I have to play these other game modes in order to unlock these mini games so that I can get into Challenge Road, and that is a big issue in my opinion. I do not like that. I think that is a terrible, terrible decision by Nintendo. Now, moving on, like I said, the online stuff is fun, but I did have some issues with it as well. There were some matches that I played that were just extremely laggy, to the point of where you could not control your character. And considering that this is a game sort of based on precision and control, because they're all little mini games, it did become very problematic. Now, something you need to know going into Super Mario Party is that you cannot play this game in handheld mode. You can play in tabletop mode and on your television, and you also do not use a pro controller. You cannot use a pro controller or anything like that, because all of the mini games are based on motion and things like that. Now luckily, since it's just single Joy-Con use, I did get these in pretty recently from a company, and I was reviewing them. I did a video on a bunch of different accessories from them, but this really helped out a lot because I thought this was very comfortable. So I just stuck my Joy-Con in there and I was able to play that game. But it's definitely something worth noting that you cannot play it in standard handheld mode. You can't play it with a pro controller, but I get that decision. They put a lot of time and effort into the gyro stuff with this, and surprisingly, the gyro stuff works very, very well. I had very little problems controlling anything or, handling the mini games or things of that nature. I think the game looks really good too. It's a pretty clean looking game, nothing too spectacular, but all the boards look really nice. Like I said, there's good attention to detail going on in some of the mini games and things like that, and it's just a really visually pleasing experience. There's a lot of content to unlock too. You can unlock stickers, you can unlock gems. That's sort of a main focus of the game, unlocking 5 different gems, and then there are 4 characters to unlock as well. There's 16 at the start with 4 unlockable characters. So content wise, the game is actually really, really decent, but there's areas of the content that sort of hold it back. Things like only having 4 boards in the party mode, things like only having 10 mini games to play as far as playing online stuff, things like the single player being locked behind an experience that you have to go through and play all these other modes continuously to unlock these mini games, which happens at random, by the way, in order to play the single player experience. There's quite a few things holding back Super Mario Party, and I know I've been kind of negative in this review, and you're probably thinking to yourself, well, I don't like the game, and maybe, you should have played with friends, or you should have done things like that. But as you get older in life, your friends aren't, down the road anymore. It's not like you're meeting up after school anymore. So I think Nintendo needs to take that into account. The kids that played the Mario Party games on the N64 are now older. They have their own lives. They have careers and jobs and priorities and things like that. So things like online should definitely have been a focus in Super Mario Party. Now, with all that being said, I think Super Mario Party is a pretty decent game overall. It's definitely something that if you have housemates or you have local friends or family members who live close by, or maybe you live with family, you're definitely going to have a good time with it. The mini games in the game are really fun. I thought River Mode and the sound stage were pretty interesting deviations. I think they returned to the standard Mario Party style gameplay really helps in things like party mode and stuff like that. And it's a really solid game. I just feel like it could have been more. I feel like they should have taken the time to add more boards to the game. They should have taken the time to have the single player stuff unlocked at the start. And they really should have focused more on online stuff. Having 10 mini games is nice. It's fun. But after like 30 minutes, you've experienced it. You've checked out everything there is to do. What else is there to do? Nothing. Go back to the single player or the local multiplayer experience. I think Super Mario Party is a return to form for this series. It's definitely more akin to the N64 games, more so than the Wii U game and Star Rush that came out on the 3DS. I didn't really enjoy those games, but I think it feels a lot more like the N64 ones. I think they did a lot of right things in this game too. There's a lot of content. If you have people to play it with locally, as the game is intended, you're probably going to have a pretty decent time with it. But as a single player experience, as someone who is an adult who doesn't have friends that just live down the road or anything like that, it's definitely sort of lacking. I was hoping that the single player stuff would have been more robust. I was hoping that the online stuff would have been more robust, because honestly, after 30 minutes of playing the online, you've pretty much experienced the online. It almost feels like Nintendo may be doing something like they did with Mario Tennis Aces, where they sort of hold back stuff and then release free DLC. I could see this game getting a ton of free DLC in terms of content, characters, and of course more boards. But time will tell with that. As it stands right now, if you're getting into this and you don't have local friends, you don't have family who lives nearby or anything like this, I would probably wait for a price drop. 40 bucks, 30 bucks. That's definitely a bit more feasible for me. If you're someone that has people that live with you or has local friends and local family, you're probably going to have a pretty decent time with it. It is probably one of the better games of October, but as a single player experience, it could have been a lot better, and it would have just been a few decisions that Nintendo had to make to make it better. But let me know in the comment section down below if you have checked out Super Mario Party, if so, what you think of it, and if it's a game that you've been enjoying. And as always, thank you for watching this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Check out the pinned comment in the comment section down below. I'm currently giving away $100 in eShop cards, so make sure you guys enter to win that. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next video. Later.